Hello again, Irish fans, and welcome to this week's edition of Inside Notre Dame Football with Brian Kelly. I'm Jack Nolan, joined as always by the head coach of the Fighting Irish. And coach, you had two main goals when you took the field against South Florida on Saturday, and maybe the most important one was to get off to a fast start on offense, which you did.
Yeah, that was nice to see our guys really follow through what had been the most important point of this improvement from week one to week two, which many people talk about. And for us, that improvement was play 4 quarters of football. And 4 quarters of football is to start fast, attention to detail, effort and enthusiasm, and finish strong.
Defensively, you wanted to stop the South Florida running game, and your defense checked that box as well.
We played with a great mentality. I thought we were defensively very aggressive, controlled the line of scrimmage. We let one run out with a missed tackle, but very physical at the point of attack. And I think we exhibited, in my estimation, the kind of standard of defense that we're playing week in and week out.
Coach and I will be back to break down Notre Dame's first ever non-conference victory right after this timeout. It's time now for our game breakdown brought to you by Canon. Coach, you are dealing with something every week this season that you have never had to deal with before, and that is roster uncertainty in this very unique year in college football. The Notre Dame football PR team announced 90 minutes before the game that 8 players on the depth chart would not be available. But the guys that stepped in not only played well, they excelled, led by linebacker Jack Kaiser, who led your team in tackles with 8, including 2 for loss, to earn the game ball.
I don't think you can look at it any other way, but it's an opportunity for guys to step up, and we don't look at it as adversity. We look at it as opportunity, and to get a chance to see a guy like Jack Kaiser come in and be given this opportunity and then get the game ball. I mean, that's what it's all about. You feel great about it, and you get a chance to see guys step up like a Clarence Lewis, who's a true freshman, play meaningful minutes, and that's, to me, the mark of a football program that has got a really solid foundation. And we've recruited well. The player development is outstanding. The mindset of our players is outstanding. And I think that showed itself on Saturday.
You mentioned Clarence Lewis, who had 5 tackles, a tackle for loss, and he broke up 3 passes all over the field. And Houston Griffith also had 5 tackles with a tackle for loss. Yeah,
obviously we played without Kyle Hamilton, who injured his ankle, and so we had that to be replaced. And I thought Houston did an outstanding job stepping in and contributing in a fashion that we know he can. He's a really, really fine player. We've got great depth at that position. We've got great depth at the buck position, where we're playing without some really good players, but now Jack Lamb and Jack Kaiser go in and do a great job. So again, really blessed with depth and guys that are focused on getting better at their position. They're not worrying about anything else but how do I get better, and when I get my opportunity, make the best of it. And the guys that you just mentioned all got an opportunity made people recognize that.
As we discussed to start the show, your mantra all week was the need to get off to a fast start, and your guys did on the very first possession of the game, driving the ball 55 yards on 7 plays to score the game's first touchdown in less than 3 minutes.
Yeah, part of that first start was centered around Ian Book. We wanted to get some throws in, push the ball down the field a little bit, and thought Ian did a nice job. I thought his pocket presence was so much more improved than the week before. He was calm in the pocket. He was settled in the pocket.
That first scoring drive started with a 25-yard completion to Tommy Tremble. He not only ended up being your leading receiver with 3 catches for 61 yards, he did just about everything an offensive player can do on the field, even carrying the ball for a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, Tommy's instrumental in terms of what we want to do offensively. He can catch, he can certainly block. We know that. We've seen a number of his finishes as a blocker, but you got to spread the wealth a little bit, getting him a carry. We wanted a quick hitter with his physicality, his ability to run, and he's capable of it. And he's a guy that you better tackle. He's 230 pounds, and that's a big fullback in there as well.
It was a breakout day for Sebo, who finished with a career-high 127 rushing yards and just 13 carries. But the key play on that drive that led to another Book touchdown was Ian's 18-yard completion to Jafar Armstrong on 3rd and 13 from the 19.
Yeah, another just a really good patient play by Ian, and found Jafar. Both tight ends made great blocks on the play, Tommy and Mike, and set up a great run. It was a really good call and a good executed play on 3rd down.
It seems fitting that the next touchdown you scored was by Sebo Flemister, a 26-yard run that gave you a 28-0 lead early in the second quarter.
Yeah, really good vision on this play. I mean, we were running it up inside, and they had canceled out all the gaps, and he does a nice job of bouncing this and taking it to the end zone. And, we really like his just physicality, but more importantly, it's been about the ability to see things. And I thought his vision on this play was outstanding, and it was good to see him get in the end zone.
We'll take you behind the scenes of Notre Dame's big win over South Florida right after this short timeout. You're watching Inside Notre Dame Football. Each week here on Inside Notre Dame Football, we combine the game day efforts of just about every member of our Fighting Irish media crew into a behind-the-scenes look at that week's game. It's a feature we call Icon. Here's a look at the South Florida edition.
Let's keep our eyes open today. Eyes up, alert. Let's be smart. Let's be disciplined. And let's be tough. Let's go! Game day!
Shot at the 3rd, but it's Book back to pass. Looks to his left. Keeps it himself across the 5. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Notre Dame.
Just getting started. Hey, we're just getting started. Everybody's singing. Let's go.
Touchdown number 2 of the day for the Irish comes courtesy of the freshman Chris Tyree.
Former 3rd-string linebacker Jack Kaiser comes up with another stop.
Foskey in pursuit, and Foskey drags down the ball carrier. 35-0. An emphatic statement by Notre Dame here.
4 quarters of football. Start fast. Check. Attention to detail. Check. Effort and enthusiasm. That's the 3rd quarter.
Pumps, and now the pressure comes, and there's the sack. First one of the day.
Alexander Ahrensberger, backup defensive lineman. Far Armstrong across the 10, head down across the 5, still on his feet, down to the 2-yard line.
If I'm South Florida, I'm doing all the things that I can to win this game. Everything. Eyes up, alert. We're not letting them score any points.
It's blocks rolling inside the 10, and a big man touchdown here for Notre Dame. Knocked away at the last minute. Well played, Cam Hart.
Is the first shutout since last year against Bowling Green by an identical score, 52-0. It's the 4th shutout in the Brian Kelly era.
We already know what it is. We got another big W.
Great victory. But anytime you shut out anybody in college football, that is a great day. That was the 20th consecutive home victory. You now have the record, the modern day record for most victories at home consecutively in 20 wins. This football is going on defense today. There's no doubt about that. Jack led our defense in tackles today. Game ball, Jack Kaiser.
One, two, three.
It's time now for Instant Reaction, sponsored by Sirius XM. One of the great stories out of Saturday's win was the play of fourth-string linebacker Jack Kaiser, who started the week on the scout team but got the start when both Buck linebackers on the two-deep, Shane Simon and Maris Leofau, were ruled unavailable for Saturday's game. All Kaiser did was lead Notre Dame in tackles with 7, including 2 tackles for loss and a quarterback hurry to earn himself the game ball. He also earned a trip to the interview room after the game.
We'll continue with Jack Kaiser. Jack, the first question is from Miles Garrett of WSBT. After being on scout team this week, what was your reaction when you found out you'd be playing today?
You always have to be ready. Your goal is always to make it up and get to the next level, whether that's staying late after practice and getting extra film work in, whether that's just bouncing questions off guys in the locker room. Hey, I heard we switched this up this week. Can you just explain that a little bit more? It's just little stuff like that. And that whole linebacker core, like that group is such a great group. There's so many leaders in there that, and they want everybody to succeed and they want everybody to do well. And so when, Shane Simon and Maris go down, like that sucks. And you don't want that to happen to anybody. But they're texting me like, hey, like this is your time, let's go. And that means a lot.
Our next question is from Mark Skoll of WNDU. Growing up so close to Notre Dame, what does it mean for you to play football for the Fighting Irish? And what has it been like waiting for the opportunity to play? And now that you have the opportunity to showcase your skills, what do you think you proved today?
Notre Dame's is the peak of the mountain, right? In terms of college football, and especially in Indiana, wearing a golden helmet just to be on the team, like that's just those are dreams of many kids here in the state of Indiana. So to put the helmet on, walk down that staircase, and then get on that field, it's surreal. And then to actually take live snaps, and contribute to the defense and contribute to a win. That's just amazing. And then, to get the game ball, like you just don't think like things like that will happen to you. It's about the guys in the locker room. Like, when they found out and during the whole game, like they're always right there supporting me and having my back. And like, that just gives you all the confidence in the world.
Our next question is from Tyler James of the South Bend Tribune. Brian Kelly said the locker room got pretty loud when you were awarded the game ball. What did that feel like?
I don't know. Like it's just confirmation that all that hard work that you put in, working in the shadows. Like the guys in the locker room see that, and if I don't know, it was just great. It was awesome to hear that.
And our last question from Angelo DiCarlo: how do you think Royal Center is reacting tonight?
I imagine Royal Center is pretty loud right now. It's just, not having a stoplight, having a yellow light, like people just think that's crazy. I talk to guys on the team, like, yeah, like I'm from a small town, like where, like, what do you call it? Like, so, to represent Royal Center and Pioneer and honestly, Indiana just feels great.
Awesome. That's all we have for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's time now for Irish Intel, sponsored by the experts at TireRack.com. Coach, this is where we let you control the video and get into the X's and O's of why a play worked. Brian, since getting off to a fast start was so important in your victory last week over South Florida, let's start with your first play from scrimmage, the 25-yard book completion to Tommy Tremble.
Well, you can see here, Jack, we're in a 13 personnel, which is 3 tight ends. So it's really going to dictate the coverage, which we get one high safety or more like a cover one look. And now Tommy Tremble is going to slip out and run a high-low with Javon McKinley clearing out the corner, which really gives him an opportunity now to set this up with Kyron running into the flat. Very difficult to defend because the defender there is also a run defender. So with the hard play action fake that you can see that Ian gives, it really freezes the defender here. You can see him freeze, and Tommy's already behind him. So really well designed because they're thinking run on the first play with 3 tight ends in the game. and just wide open, and sets up a nice start to the game.
It was a career day for running back Sibo Fleminster. 127 rushing yards on 13 carries, including this 26-yard touchdown run in the second quarter.
Yeah, great vision here by Sibo. This play is designed to go up inside. You can see everybody's blocking down. The defense really overcommitted inside. And this is where good vision by a back and nice block on the outside. He bounces it outside and then gets his shoulders squared and shows really good speed to the pylon. Really nice run by Sibo.
Coach, late in the first quarter, South Florida faces 4th and 5 from the Notre Dame 33. They come out in punt formation. Pick it up from there.
Yeah, well, most teams would go with their safe defense. We went with our punt team because we practice these looks all the time. You can see we very easily go out and go against the split set. We've got our defensive ends that have contain. Everybody has a responsibility here. So they break from their punt set into an offensive formation, and we're in great position with leveraged players. And to the field here, we got Isaiah Foskey, who's responsible for contain, does a great job of forcing. Here comes our scrape linebacker, who's got secondary contain, and do a great job with just the fundamentals, I guess is what I would say more than anything else, of how you defend fake punts. We're not I think confused. Everybody is just simply doing their jobs as they're well defined here, and Coach Polian does a good job of really repping out all these potential looks.
Brian, our final play this week, another great story in the South Florida game. Alex Ahrensberger out of Dusseldorf, Germany, comes up with a big third quarter sack.
Yeah, now, truth be told, Alex was playing on the scout team all week, and I don't even think he was playing his natural position. But here's a guy that has listened, paid attention, goes to meetings, and really is so well liked. You can see him set the tackle up here, good inside bull rush move, and comes up with a great sack. And I don't know if you let it play itself all the way through, his excitement after this was probably more, I think, for the sideline to see everybody on the sideline get excited because he was so jacked up. I think here he is right here with the other linemen. It's just nice to see guys with that kind of joy and excitement after making such a big play.
It's always fun to go into the film room with Coach Kelly. We'll be back to wrap up this edition of Inside Notre Dame Football right after these words from some of our many fine sponsors. Coach, this week you hit the road for the first time this season for a noon game at Wake Forest. What challenges can the first road game of the season pose for a young team?
Well, just going on the road, given the circumstances and the time we live in right now, right, in terms of protocols and procedures and CDC and going to a different state, flying, where your meals are going to be. Obviously we're used to having a lot of food on the plane. You can't do that. Hotel rooms, just the list goes on and on. And we haven't even gotten to football and playing Wake Forest at Wake Forest in a road game. So just, keep our guys focused on what they can control the controllables. And that is go through your normal routines on a Friday and get your mind set on, what is the most important thing, what we call winning, right? Those are the things that the guys need to get tuned into. And I think we'll get them there. They've done a really nice job. We still have a lot of veteran players that will show our guys the right way to think. And if we do that, then it's just about executing on Saturday.
Coach, thank you. Folks, that will do it for this week's edition of Inside Notre Dame Football. Coach and I will return next week to break down all the highlights of the Wake Forest game. Until then, for Coach Kelly, I'm Jack Nolan. Thanks so much for watching. And as always, go Irish.